So the lineup for the first final, and they're all there, the main Americans, plus Atsuta, Sasaka, Suzuki, Tajima, Narita, Takahama, Kawashima, Atsuta, Nakayama. Those are the boys to look out for as they're being lapped, but it'll be these men that we're looking to at the front. Jeff Emig, number 1. Number 2, Jeremy McGrath. Number 16, Tim Ferry. Number 17, Steve Lamson, winner, surprisingly, of that second heat, but he's always done well over here in Japan. He's won in Osaka, he was second here in Tokyo back in 1995 on the Sunday, ahead of Huffman and behind Jeremy McGrath. Number 18, Craig Anderson on a Yamaha. Look along the line, there's number 4, Larry Ward. Number 15, Damon Huffman. Number 5, of course, Ezra Lusk. Number 3, Pichon. Number 6, let's not forget Kevin Windham, who won here in Japan last year. The kid from Baton Rouge in Louisiana, the 125cc Western Region champ, runner-up in the 125cc US National Championship. But this is the man everyone's looking to gun down. Currently the championship leader, he's got 124 points. Teammate David Huffman had 102. Pichon's back on 75 points in 4th place. McGrath on 69 points in 6th place. And here we go for the first turn. Let's see who makes it through there first. And Emig's on the outside. He's taking a long way round. And I think he got... Oh! And Emig, what I was just going to say, he's got pushed out. He got pushed so wide, he went through the tapes. So the leader of the championship and the reigning champion is down and out on the first turn. And it's the 2 Yamahas dogfighting at the front. Windham on the left. Is that Johnny Dowd on the right? So these guys who are pals and training partners, even though they're about 12 years apart in age, it's Kevin Windham, John Dowd, a Yamaha 1-2 at the front, and disaster for Jeff Emig and the Kawasaki. They are through the tapes and out of it. There he is, Emig, typically remounted, typically forcing himself back into contention. Now what he's got to do is whip his way through all those Japanese guys, hopefully without too much trouble, and then try and make ground on the Americans in front of him. That's going to be more difficult, because here's number 6 escaping at the front. That boy from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Kevin Windham. So it's Windham at the front, already opening up quite a gap. Now Windham at Osaka last year showed us just how good he is. And it looks like he's going to do that again. Don't forget, this is the final, so this is the one you want to win. He won at Osaka last year, beating Doug Henry and Greg Albertine to record his first major international 250cc Supercross victory. And right now, he looks to be setting himself up to do it again. That's number 6, Kevin Windham. Over the finishing line, soaring through the air. I got a glimpse of a flash of red, which might indicate that we've got a Honda through into second, and we have. It's his great rival, Ezra Lusk. These lads both topped the podium during the US National Series in 1997. And both at the time, of course, were Yamaha teammates, let's not forget. But Lusk has been snapped up by Honda after 1 year on Yamahas. And number 4, Larry Ward. Number 17, Steve Lamson. Ward 4th, Lamson 5th. Number 15, Huffman down, and there's number 2, Jeremy McGrath. So McGrath's also hit early problems. He's well downfield. Amongst, just to say, ahead of all the Japanese kamikaze merchants. A quick glance over his right shoulder from Windham tells him what he doesn't want to know, that Ezra Lusk is rather uncomfortably close, not the comforting figure of his friend and teammate, John Junkyard Dog Dowd. So Lusk, he's showing good form, isn't he? And look at this man, Larry Ward, getting a bit sideways there, but he's a good 4th in his debut on the Suzuki for 1998, when he'll be racing there. And look at this man, Emig, slicing through the back markers. And of course, you never know which way they're going to go. The Japanese lads tend to use an awful lot of track and an awful lot of ruts, and this is a rutted track. It's dug out a lot, slings the guys from side to side. It takes someone of the skill and talent and fluency of this. Oh, no! And just as I was saying that, Emig got himself onto the same line as a wayward Japanese, and that exactly illustrates the problem. These Japanese lads don't know which way they're going to go next. Actually, that might have been number 18, Craig Anderson, he collided with there. So I'm doing the Japanese. Oh, poor old Jeff, whacking that clutch lever. Get back down to where I want you to be. Because these guys ride so much on the clutch. It's absolutely essential to them. They're feathering that clutch all the time. They don't want to bog down on this very soft, rutty surface. So, now, can Jeffro... No, he still can't concentrate on the job in hand. He's extremely dismayed, isn't he? You're seeing a very angry Jeff Emig. He's usually a pretty nice guy, although we saw him deal pretty crudely with Greg Albertine, one of the most amazing block passes I've ever seen in Bercy. And he's still got to get past Anderson and one of the Japanese guys just in front of him there. So at the moment, all eyes and the camera on Jeff Emig as he tries to force his way through the pack. And I think force is going to be the name of the game. He's going to have to get... he's going to have to start to get his elbows out and make himself a bit of space because he's an awful long way down the field. And he's got a reasonable lead, and there he goes. Cuts through cleanly. No block passing necessary. In he goes. Out he comes. Front wheel pawing the air. Jeff Emig, 26 years old now, a real veteran, but a very successful one. 4 times national champion in the USA, once 125 outdoors, twice 250 outdoors, once 250 Supercross. And at the front, we still have the battle royal going on between the kids. There's 19-year-old Windham, number 6, 22-year-old, number 5 on the Honda. Ezra Lusk still looking for a way past, but they're constantly in heavy traffic. And that could make things very interesting. If you make the wrong decision, especially if you're at the front, then that will give Lusk a chance to get past, get round, get inside. And at the moment, Ezra's attacking round the outside. Windham holds him off, traps the Honda as they go into the right-hander, and the yellow flag's flapping wildly again. Please don't land on me, says one of the Japanese pilots, picks himself up, gets out of the way. And then momentarily gets back in the way of Kevin Windham. These guys, it's a terrific exercise in quick thinking, isn't it? And spontaneous wit. The blue flag desperately being waved at back markers to keep them out of the way of the front runners. Well, this is a battle royal between 2 guys, one of whom hasn't won an international Supercross, and one of whom did so at Osaka last year for the first time. Lusk looking very wild. When he was dropped by Suzuki at the end of '96, despite finishing 3rd in the Supercross Championship that year, Roger DeCosta said it was principally down to the fact that his dad demanded too much money for him. Number two, Jeremy McGrath, fighting hard, but down outside the top 7 at the moment. So a surprising position for him to be in. I was saying Roger DeCosta doesn't doubt in any way the ability of Ezra Lusk. He thinks he's a great rider, as indeed is this man still. Jeremy McGrath, left Honda, didn't quite retain his title, though he only lost it by 15 points, the US Supercross Championship. And here he is, cutting inside one of the back markers, one of the many, Takatiru Atsuta. And on the Chaparral Yamaha, he's out to prove that he's still a force to be reckoned with in 1998. Shoving aside number 39, that's Yoichiro Kawashima. These lads can always grow up and tell their grandchildren they raced on the same track as Jeremy McGrath, the greatest ever Supercrosser in the world. The man we glimpsed just behind Jeremy, number 16, the 125 East Coast champ in the States, that's Tim Ferry. Ferry riding Yamaha now. And number 6, Kevin Windham, very much a Yamaha man, holding off, showing tremendous resilience and tremendous maturity as he holds off. I was going to say holds off Ezra Lusk. Lusk tries for the inside. Windham risking getting blocked up the inside by one of the back markers. And Lusk is very, very fast across the whoops. Has he got the speed to get round? Has he got the momentum? And amazingly he has. He comes through, and at the same time they lap Jeff Emig. Well, there's a sight to behold. Jeff Emig, who is at the moment in 6th place. Beg your pardon, he can't be 6th, he's 9th. Down in 9th place. Jeff Emig in 9th place. Plays a sort of assistant role in allowing Ezra Lusk to take the lead from Kevin Windham. So there we are, number 5 or number 3, take your pick. Ezra Lusk at the front on the Honda. Kevin Windham in 2nd place on the Yamaha. Well, we saw Steve Lamson break Honda's duck to an extent by winning his qualifying heat. Could it be that Ezra Lusk is going to break that duck even more by taking the first of the finals? Lusk, now 22 years old. He was actually a 125cc Supercross champion back in 1994, but spent a lot of time crashing and hurt himself a lot in 95. Then he said he found out the secret of not overreaching himself, not dumping it too often. riding to stay on the bike as well as get results. And here he is, really beginning to get them. Ezra Lusk, the new Honda signing, and he's beginning to look like Honda's strong boy for 1998 as they try to retain or regain the Supercross Championship and National Championships that they lost, all of them, because of course Kawasaki clean swept the 125 Outdoor Nationals, the 250 Outdoor Nationals and the 250 Supercross. Kevin Windham losing ground in the traffic. Jeff Emig in 9th place, holding on to Windham as the blue flags come out. Jeff will be deeply irritated, thinking, well, I could have been sitting here in 3rd place, going the same speed as these guys, and instead I'm a lap down. And it's costing me some valuable points in the World Championship Series. Fortunately, he can take some sort of comfort in the fact that Damon Huffman, his teammate, is also having a rather poor ride. So his nearest challenger in the championship is only a place or two ahead of him in the race. So Jeff Emig, if he had to choose a time to get punched through the tapes on the first turn, well, he's definitely chosen the right race to do it. But look how comfortably he seems to be holding on to the runner-up in this race, Kevin Windham. But notice Emig, experienced man, he's not making any attempt to mess up Windham, not trying to get past him. And it's obvious that all around the course, the Japanese kamikaze merchants are coming to grief, the crowd gasping constantly. Of course, they have the privilege of being able to see the whole of this track and enjoy everything that's going on right across the board. Emig soaring past number 36, Roy Hiro Takayama. And there's number 2, Jeremy McGrath. He also having a rather disappointing ride, lying 6th at the moment and going down. Oh, Jeremy. Well, it's a long time since we've seen McGrath having a crasher race. So McGrath drops the Chaparral Yamaha. He's enduring a bit of a nightmare back here in Tokyo. 4 times a winner here. Yellow flags out, more people on the deck. Another Honda goes down. It's not Ezra Lusk, he's still in the lead. It might well have been his teammate Steve Lamson. We've lost Lamson off the leaderboard, so it could have been the former double 125 national champ who had such a poor season in 1997 who's dumped his Honda there. So we've got one Honda winning, another one crashing. There's Tim Ferry, number 16, holding off Jeremy McGrath. They're lying 5th and 6th. So Tim Ferry on a factory Yamaha, just ahead of the Chaparral factory Yamaha of this man, Jeremy McGrath. The camera taking a look at him because, of course, he's always expected to be at the front, so why not look at him while he's struggling a wee bit downfield. The man who's broken all the records in American Supercross over the last 4 years, and of course been twice World Supercross champion during that time, but he's certainly not riding like one at the moment. He's really not looking a happy bunny. Another gasp from the crowd. Number 5, Ezra looks round almost as if to say, what was that all about? Because he's pretty comfortable at the front. Japan Supercross, the trackside banner tells us. And this crowd love it, don't they? This is the only chance. Japan, Tokyo and Osaka, the only chance they get to see the top Americans come over every year, and they really enjoy it when they do arrive. And of course, they've got this all over again. Number 64 is the next target, wobbling around in front of Ezra Lusk. Yoshitaka Atsuta will be the next man under the hammer. But Lusk is looking very, very comfortable. Doesn't look like a boy who spent a lot of his time crashing in his earlier days. Mind you, he has been dumped a few times in his life. He got dumped also by Team Kawasaki, Team Green, when he was younger, because he used to get into a few sticky situations. His aggression got him into a few sticky situations in his youth, especially with Jeff Dement, and apparently Kawasaki eventually decided enough was enough, and they showed Ezra Lusk the door. But he's getting used to it. Suzuki showed him the door, Yamaha have let him go, and now he's with probably the highest profile team in the US, Team Honda, and it looks as if he's out to give them their first international victory of 1997. Certainly as a factory team, because of course Larry Ward won in Sheffield on October the 4th, riding Honda of Troy. Ward, incidentally, is coming through to challenge for 2nd place in this race. So number 6, Kevin Windham, beginning to tire. And the 27-year-old veteran who never gets tired, Larry Ward, he's always the man who's on the charge late in the race. He's come through to second place. This man, Jeff Emig, has reached 9th place, which means he's got ahead of all the Japanese riders, which is as much you could really expect him to do when he's a lap down. Still soaring across the huge triple jump here, no problem at all. So Jeff Emig knows that he's got to settle for 9th place, and the points that will bring him. He won't lose too much on his lead in the championship, because Damon Huffman is in fact just 1 place in front of him. 8th for his teammate Damon Huffman, so he's only going to claw back a couple of points in the series. Jeff, of course, has quite a handsome lead at the moment, 22 points in front of Damon Huffman. Emig in his shift gear, part of the Kawasaki steamroller that dominated the US scene in 1997. Ezra Lusk showboating his way towards the checkered flag, the crowd roaring their approval. The 22-year-old, originally from Bainbridge in Georgia. He's going to win this one for Honda, and the Honda team bosses, they'll be delighted. They'll be thinking, right, we've signed the right man for 1998. Ezra Lusk cruises towards the checkered flag. He's not even going to bother showboating over the top. He's done that for them already. Raises a fist aloft. He'll be well pleased with that result. A great start to his Honda career. So Ezra Lusk, 22-year-old Ezra Lusk, shows what he's going to be capable of in 1998 on Honda. Takes the victory in the Tokyo. Oh, and Jeremy McGrath, a desperate last lap attempt to get past Tim Ferry into that 5th place. Doesn't quite make it, so the Chaparral Yamaha having to be content with 6th place behind Lusk, Ward, Windham and John Dowd. Well, at least Jeremy's still in one piece, because the way he's riding this deeply